Max, it's great to have you in. How are you doing today?
It's great to be here. When you said special guest, I thought you was going to bring somebody else in.
Yeah, I saw you look around. I was like, no, that's you, man. Thank you
guys.
again.
Thank you guys for having.
We have to start very importantly here because fighting, whatever, we'll get into that. But the outfit today, sick. First of all, that's Drake, right?
Oh yeah.
This is your guy. So
yeah.
I mean, are you collaborating on outfits now? Is he just sending you some stuff? What's going on?
So I just heard it through the grapevine. They only bless when they attach to you. So
okay.
I'm just joking. I love it. OVO is cool. I got that 10th island going on with Canada, with Toronto. I get nothing but love from Toronto all the time, and I'm sad I'm not in Toronto. It's like kind of bittersweet that I'm not in Toronto this December.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a 9th island with all my fellow Hawaiians over here. But I miss you, Toronto, and hopefully I see them fight night out here.
Why do you think? I mean, obviously you've had some big fights there, some great reception, some crowds. But like, what is it about that city that just you've embraced and that they've embraced you so much?
It's just I think the culture so diverse. It reminds me like Hawaii. You know, the city is clean as it can get. It's a dope city. There's an underground city. We could walk. You can walk in regular clothes when it's like minus 20 out there. So it's crazy. It's just the mutual and then the love that it means so much to me because I won my interim title there and then I got to defend my title there. So it's just awesome. I'm a big Raptors fan now. We got Bobby Webster. Shout out to him. I think he'd be out to the fight here, but he's the GM for Raptors. So that the connection is just nuts.
You're huge with the NBA, man. I mean, okay, if you had to compare yourself to any player in the NBA, who would you say you are?
Who would I say I am? I'd be probably Alex Caruso. Not supposed to be here. A lot of guys. You see Alex jump, it's like, what? This boot got house. I don't know, but that's what I would say. I would say I'm not supposed to be sitting in front of you, and this and that. And Alex is actually killing it for the Lakers, so, toodles to him.
That's probably the last player I would have expected you to compare to there. That's interesting. But, I mean, it's different in that I think you're saying you overcame the odds.
Oh,
him like, the lack of athleticism. And, I mean, he actually has it, but nobody thinks he does.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're different for you. You're an incredible athlete and everything else, but had to overcome other things to try to make it this far and overcame the odds. And everybody is a long shot to get to this level. But I guess why do you think you persevered?
Is this the right road? I think everybody has a decision in life. Everybody has a path. And the city I grew up in Oahu, it's called Waianae. I just saw a lot of people with way more talent than I had, just like kind of like give it away. And it was like throw it away for little stuff that I kind of thought so whatever. And then also the drugs and stuff was crazy, and I saw it ruin families. So I always told myself, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this for me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show people that a little kid from the west side of Oahu can do it, and if I can do it, why not you?
Everybody gets to their eventual, destination through all kinds of different paths, obviously. But there's many decisions along the way. Is there a point where you can look at it and say, man, this is the turning point? This for me, like if I could have gone one way, instead I went this way, and that's really where I ended up now.
Yeah, for sure. I tell you guys can ask my head honcho, Ryan Lazarus. I tell him all the time. When I actually told him in the back when we fought Jose Aldo in Rio, it was just me and him inside in the doctor room, and I hugged him, kissed him on top of his head, and I said thank you. I was like, I wouldn't be in the I would have made it to the UFC. I believe I would have made it, but I would have been that 0-2 guy, that guy that. Telling everybody I'm a UFC vet, but technically you're not because you didn't win in it. You know what I mean? Like that's just what that's what I was telling him, because if I never met him, he really expand my knowledge as a person, and then as a mixed martial artist too, and then how to apply that to my life too. So he helped change my life in many ways that he really don't know.
How about schools in Hawaii? I know that you've really kind of worked and focused on trying to help out the others that are out there trying to make their way into the UFC. Haven't you? I think you started a gym out there, haven't you?
I haven't.
Yeah.
I wish I did. Well, maybe. Hopefully,
Yeah.
We see what happens. But it's just we always welcome guys to come train at the gym. all the time. You know, if you guys think so, you guys got something, let us know. Come train, come see how it is, and see if it's for you. You know, I think martial arts period, you know, jiu-jitsu period is great for any person. It's a lifestyle. Jiu-jitsu really is a lifestyle. It can really change your life. You know, you see it all the time. You know, I see guys all the time that come in a little bit overweight, this and that. They start training jiu-jitsu. They start getting more confident, this and that. They end up getting girlfriends, they get a blue belt, and then they disappear for a little bit. They forget, you know what I mean? They forget what got them there, and then they find their way back to jiu-jitsu, but it really is a lifestyle. It really is a lifestyle. It's a mindset, and I think so jiu-jitsu helps out in life, especially when you go to certain gyms, you know. Not all the gyms is the same, but I like to think that our gym, you know, I have Ryan Lazar's. He was under Pedro Sauer, and Pedro Sauer always says the important thing is, like, you always got to be a white belt, my friend. Whenever you walk into the room, whatever it is, even if you're the highest guy in the room, you just got to be a white belt. He always thinking, always trying to find out new ways to approach life and approach jiu-jitsu.
Sorry, is that your mentality that as a fighter, you've accomplished so much? You had the long winning streak, or you're knocking everybody out, you're winning all these fights, but you keep taking these challenges, take the next step, move up, try to challenge somebody else. Like, what is it that keeps driving you to try to do more and accomplish more?
You just said it. You know, GSP once said that it's easier to win the fight because you're earning something brand new. It's harder to keep re-earning something that you already have, right? Like, if I'm the champ already, why do I wake up and train? Why do this and that? But it's what we want to do, because the questions there, a lot of people presents questions and this and that, and the challenges. That's what excites me. When we sit down to the team, they tell me, oh, this might be a problem, this might be a problem. When I hear more problems, more questions, I'm like, that brings a smile to my face, because that's great, you know, and people can keep doubting, you know. I want to be the best mixed martial artist of all time, not the best featherweight fighter, you know, and that's what I want to do. I want to work hard and, you know, keep going to that goal.
Max, coming from Hawaii, obviously BJ Penn was probably a huge influence on you. Any other fighters that you looked up to or were a huge fan of coming up?
You know, it's funny that you say BJ Penn, because one of the huge guy, my nickname was actually after him for a little bit, was Jen's Little Evil Pulver. Yeah, how crazy, yeah. I remember watching Jen's fight in a K1 kickboxing match, and he was doing real good, and then he ended up getting knocked out in that fight, but I was like, instant fan, and then I found out that he was a wrestler before he was a striker, and he was doing that, like, he left MMA and mixed martial arts where he's favored to go and strike, and he's a boxer, and I was like, God,
that's always impressed me about guys.
Yeah, this guy's wild. I was like, I liked it, you know, and then I got my nickname because of that. I asked my trainer, I was like, hey, can I get the nickname Little Evil? And then I was Little Evil for a little bit. Now we blessed, so life's good.
I guess where did that come from? Is that what you wanted, or did somebody put it on you? The blessed nickname, is that something that you said, hey, I want this, or is that something bestowed upon you?
Yeah, you know, I think nicknames, you need to always, like, someone needs to give it to you. If you give it to yourself, that's kind of wild. Yes. But yeah, my old coach, he gave me this. He gave me Little Evil, and then we was training for God's Army at the time, and then it just kind of, like, you know, I had an interaction with someone, and it kind of made sense after that interaction. So I told him, like, hey, look, you know, can I change my nickname and this and that, and then it was after one of my fights, and I came back to the gym the following week after one of my fights. I told him, "Oh, you got a new name for me?" And he was like, "Nah." He's like, "Only thing that comes to my name, comes to mind is bless." I was like, "Perfect, I'll take it." He's like, "Take what?" He was like, "Blessed." He was like, "You want?" It was cool. He's like, "We never ever heard no other fighter being nicknamed blessed," so it was cool.
Well, let's get into the fight a little bit. Alexander Volkanovski, he's undefeated right now in the UFC, 20-1 overall. So when you look at a guy like him that has all the momentum behind him, everything rising, where do you think, like, you have the best strengths over somebody like him?
We see what happens, you know. Everybody keeps saying, like, about his win streak and this and that, and the fun thing is that all that don't matter. It doesn't matter. All that matters that night, you know, who shows up that night and what happens, you know. And he presents a lot of questions, like I said, you know, like his pace. He keeps talking about his pace. I'm excited. You know, I'm a pace fighter. They keep talking about his power. You know, I'm excited to see, you know, this. You know, you guys know I love cupcakes, so, you know, I heard this one packs a punch, so we get to find out, you know. And then also his height and stuff. Everybody's like, oh, you're so much taller, this and that. I'm like, guys, but he has a 2-inch reach advantage on me, like most of these featherweights do, So it is what it is. It's just exciting times ahead, and I just can't wait.
You mentioned the reach. Well, I remember there was an interview that you just did at a media day in Los Angeles, and you were saying that you think of yourself sometimes as a T-Rex, so that you're trying to work the reach. So what do you do to try to prepare and game plan for that and to use your best assets in this fight?
I watch Toy Story a lot. How T-Rex. I see how he do his life problems in there. Then I apply it to my life. But all jokes aside, I know what I got. I know my reach. I know how to kick, where to push, where to punch, where to get out of zone. So it's just something that I can't just grow it overnight. Be like, grow longer reach. Maybe stretching a little bit might help a little bit, but not too much. Yeah, maybe I just need to hang more outside of camp, whatever it is, on top poles and stuff. So we see what happens. We figured it out. I got some of the greatest coaches. People don't even know them. Even my manager and stuff, because they're so behind the scene. They just want me to have the lights. So I got the greatest minds, I believe, in MMA. These guys don't do interviews. They hate talking. I need to beg them when UFC calm down, or media. I'm like UFC calm down, need coaches. You guys gotta talk. And they're like, why? I'm like, I don't know, but you guys need to do it.
Was there a point in your career that you realized that you had to do these things? I mean, I don't think you've ever not liked it. Nobody loves doing it, but you have to do these things and talk and expand your career. Was there a point you realized that?
It comes with the territory. It comes. I knew what I was getting myself into. I hear people complaining about the media and this and that and whatever, but you guys help. It helps a lot with getting our name out there and selling our fights. So at the end of the day, it's a push reward. The greater you get, the more media you're gonna have to do, and I understand that. I hear people complain about it. I'm like, guys, did you not do your research? Did you not see other people complaining about the media? Like, I heard about the other champs complaining about the media, so I was like, man, this is something that you mentally gotta get prepared for too, because sometimes they forget about actual training. I'm like, but that's how I got one of the best teams ever. They make sure everything in line for me, and if I don't want to do something, and I tell them I'm not going to do something, they're going to fight for me to the death with whoever it is, and, I love them.
On the next level of that, like, with all the success and all the publicity and limelight, everything comes, like, opportunities to do super fun things sometimes. We see it at NBA games and all these other things. Was there anything that you were like, oh, my God, this is super cool that I got to do this?
Be in the movie, be on Den of Thieves. I think that was fun. I wish I could be in more movies, but the way my training schedule is and the way I like fighting so much, like 3 to 4 times a year, and my manager kind of gets a heart attack every time. But I think so. If I can get more movies is fun. Like, being on the set is fun. It's not fun when you're actually a fighter though, because like there's this thing called the honey wagon where the snacks is just you can just keep getting snacks, and then you got like a personal chef there, and the stuff. It's like. That wasn't the fun part, but the fun part was like meeting all the other celebs, so it was cool.
That sounds like a great job for after fighting.
Oh, 100%. That would be unrecognizable.
How big are you gonna get after you're done fighting? You're just gonna blow up?
I don't know. I keep saying I'm gonna get huge, but they probably won't let that. Like when it comes to a point, like I know, like I always explain to people, like I know that sometimes I eat too much sweets, but I know I'm gonna go work it off. That's why. So when when I stop working out, then I probably gotta, it's a lifestyle. Get to a jiu-jitsu lifestyle and actually be skinny.
As you get older, weight cutting obviously gets a little more harder because your body starts slowing down metabolism-wise and stuff. Is there what's your plans once that starts happening? Are you still going to make the cut to 45? Are you going to try to go up? Is there a future for Holloway in 55, 70s?
Yeah, for sure. There's a future for me at probably 185. Who knows? I'm Polynesian, Samoan, I'm Hawaiian. I can get there. I just be me, just getting in the gym and actually looking right and putting on the right way to do it. So, I always told them, always said, I got some of the best guys working behind me. And when they tell me, look, 45 is not doable anymore, 45 is not doable. Right now we got everything firing on all cylinders, and it's working.
I think you want to fight both Conor again and Khabib, which didn't get to happen before. But if you can only pick one of those fights to take in the future, which one do you want?
Whatever one lines up with legacy. whichever one gives me the biggest fight for legacy and be like, oh man, this guy's the greatest. That's what I said. I know Conor's coming back and Khabib is Khabib, and whatever guys, if they trying to be the greatest in the world, I'm gonna run into them again. That's just it.
That Khabib fight certainly was crazy. It's the weirdest week I've ever been a part of.
It was a wild week.
For you being at the center of that, like now that we're away from it a little bit, what was that week like for you?
The week was nuts. It was insane. April Fools, I had to call my coaches to tell them that I took a 155 title fight. You know how hard that was? Everybody thought I was lying. I was like, I'm not lying, guys. Like, I really need... One of my coaches, Rylan, was... He just had a newborn, and they just was leaving that day, the hospital. And he was like, what? Are you serious? Like,
for those that don't, it was 6 days.
Yeah.
Right? 6 days out, you're like, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, so no, everybody thought I was lying. I called up everybody, and I texted everyone. I was like, look, guys, I'm fighting. They're like, no, you're not. Haha. I'm like, I text them, and I called them all out personal. I was like, I'm fighting. Like, we need to book these flights now.
They didn't believe it. They didn't believe it till it was on Twitter.
And then when we got there, it was crazy. And then, the whole thing went down. The fight week was this Brooklyn, man. New York is crazy. All of New York's cards is crazy. Yeah. I don't ever want to. I want to fight in Madison Square Garden, but I don't know. To come with that much drama, I don't know.
Well, okay, we talked about the fight. You mentioned your legacy there. What is the legacy that you want to leave behind? You've been in this fight game for so long already. You've talked about going up to 170 even to fight there for a title, that you don't want to be just the guy that has 2 titles. You want to be the guy that has 3. So, I mean, you haven't got there yet with 55s, but how do you see the progression going? What kind of legacy do you want to leave with the name Max Holloway in the UFC?
The greatest of all time. The greatest of all time. Mixed martial artists during my era, like whenever they talk about like, oh, during that time, Max was the man, that's just it, you know what I mean? There's level to this, there's Michael Jordan era, then Kobe's, and then LeBron's, and Jamar is looking like he's coming up. Luka is look like he's like, there's all these eras, you know what I mean? Like, we can't, like, when I'm done fighting, I'm done fighting. But while I'm here or whatever, I want to say, like, when he was fighting, he was the best to do it, and that's the goal, So whatever is the plan, whatever it takes, whoever it takes to get there, then, let me try them, Like I said, bring that new mysterious cupcake flavor up. I'll take the first bite.
But what Jordan or LeBron, though? That's the big question.
Jordan... You cannot pick. Why can't 2 legends coexist? Why not?
I mean, it's LeBron. LeBron's bigger, stronger, faster.
It's not fair. It's not fair because I can say LeBron because I'm watching LeBron. I didn't watch Michael. You know what I mean? But he's a GOAT. You know what I mean? He's been around for a long time, and you just legends live in eras. So he's a legend in every way.
Okay, so we talked about whether it be Khabib or Conor. But if you did have the chance to fight Conor again, it's been quite a while since that fight. What weight class would you want to do it at? And does that really interest you to get that fight again?
Yeah, whatever weight class. I don't care. I know we can both agree to just show up fight night. Let's not weigh in. Let's not tell everybody our weight and just show up and let's fight each other. That's just it. Back in... I tell my friends all the time, but UFC 1, the tournament style, they didn't have no weight, In the Coliseum times when they fought, nobody was walking around the scale and be like, oh, you're 0.1 over. I can't take this fight with you.
10% of your purse.
Yeah, that's just my mindset. My mindset, I'll fight him whatever. If this is the best guy in the world, if people are telling me he's the best guy in the world, then I want to crack at it.
Obviously, when you fought Conor after that fight, you both took off from that fight. But I mean, popularity-wise, media-wise, I mean, he just blew to another planet. Did you know? Could you see something in him where he's like, oh, that guy is going to be like a big star in this world?
I don't know. I can't say obviously no, but you kind of know it's a big deal when, like, before we walk out in the fight, we was in the back. They hold us. They're like, oh, wait, stay right here. We're gonna air your guys' walk out live. I was like, oh wow. And then when I walk out and he walks out, they do the championship walk for him. And I was like, oh, wow, this is cool, So, like, during there, like, it's cool, whatever. And then after the fight, you watch it back, and you look at it, it's like, oh, yeah, there was hoping this guy take off, and he did, So, kudos to him, and he killed it.
What do you think of him now? Kind of looking back, not only your fights, but everything that you've seen from him. What are your thoughts on him?
I think we're all human. You know, I think we all make mistakes, and I think it's not how we start the race, it's how we finish, and I think so. He's trying to right all his wrongs. So you know, power to him, and I'm glad that he's back in the sport and figured it out. Because when he was fighting, you know, he wasn't doing too much crazy stuff. So hopefully he can get back on that horse, and we see him then. You know, I wish nothing but the best for a guy. He's a father like me. He has 2 child, and I hope he can you know, pick off where he left off.
We'll get you out of here, but you've been through the same kind of amount of success. Do you see how it's easy to go the wrong way with success?
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's especially with social media now, guys. Like, social media is so nuts. Like, you read that stuff and you don't know people's tempers sometimes, you know, and you don't know what's going on. You know, a lot of these guys think so we're superheroes and stuff and blah, blah, blah. Like, they can tell us whatever we want and we're not going, and we cannot react. And it's tough, you know, it's tough for us. But at the end of the day, it's what we signed up to. And, you know, just surround yourself with great people. And that's what I did. I got a great team, great people behind me. And we always figure it out, you know. It's always a learning curve. You always got to keep learning, you know. It's just like in mixed martial arts. You got to approach mixed martial arts like life. That's the way I do it, you know. It's like, if you're not evolving, then you're staying the same and you get left behind.
You talk about the support you have behind you. You always have your son out there, Rush.
Yeah.
What's it like to have a mini Blessed always out there and kind of being cage side to see as you progress with your fights, what's going on, and just to have him out there?
Yeah, I call him Agent Double S, you know, Shine Stealer. That guy been stealing all my sign, but if it's anybody, it's him. And it's great, you know. I just hopefully he can, you know, remember these kind of stuff, take this situation, and just become a great human being and keep spreading that positive vibes.
Saturday night, big card, UFC 245. Everybody wants to watch your fights all the time, always. But why should people watch this card in addition to you being on it?
You know, Christmas came 11 days early. New Year's Eve, a couple more days earlier than that. So December 14th is the new Year's and Christmas. We're giving you guys a package deal. Make sure you guys tune in live, and it's going to be a show.
That's right. As Max mentioned, 3 title fights on this card, UFC 245 happening at the T-Mobile Arena December 14th. Max, the co-main event, UFC Featherweight Champion, putting that title on the line for the 4th time against Alexander Volkanovski. Max, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for your time, Max.
And do you want to tell everybody where they can find you on social?
You can find me at Bless MMA on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on YouTube, Max Holloway. Hiker Holloway just dropped, so tune in.